I said that whole speech while I was on mute. Oh my God. Hi, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Is the audio cutting out for anybody else? Just so you guys know, the speech that I had is welcome, welcome, welcome. The verdict, the verdict, the verdict. We have a verdict. The verdict is in. If you know anybody that wants to watch the verdict, needs a laugh, doesn't want to watch this alone, share it out. Tell them that we have a verdict. Send them over here. Hello, Alice. Hi. This is not going to work, babe. You're going to have to come around over this way. Hold on. Alice has decided to be here for the verdict. Pardon me, little miss. Oh, that's not going to work. Lady, come on. Come, don't put your foot on the, there you go. Okay, I got you. Sheesh. All right, so I'm sorry, you guys. I was, let me tell you exactly what I was doing, because I believe in the rule of completeness. So the rule of completeness is that I was playing Find It on my iPad, and I had the Verdict Watch for Court TV on the phone, and the music changed, and I looked over and I was like, they got a verdict. So I went and hit the live button. I didn't even get enough. I haven't even eaten. I'm starving. Hi, Alice. Hi. Now we wait. What do you guys think? Alice, you can't hit the mic, babe. It's not going to work. This is, I'm cut. Okay. For everybody besides Michelle L, can you tell me if I am cutting out, if the audio is an issue? Please, when you get a second. I don't know, Tony. Probably snacks. Okay. Aw, Steph, you didn't have to do that. Thank you so much, babe. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I was really generous. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, so Michelle, babe, I don't want to single you out, but I think it might just be you, sweet cheeks. Might have to go out and come back in, babe. I think it's going to be guilty when you get a verdict this quick. Yeah, usually that implies guilty. Thank you guys for being here. Before we get the verdict, how about a word from our sponsor? Let's have a word from our sponsor. Okay, here we go.
And Kai, when you're on Jen Lou's channel, what do you do with the like button?
Smash, smash, smash! Yeah.
So make sure you smash that like button for me, please. Oh, heck. Hold on. Give me just 1 second. I got to do something. Don't you guys worry, though. I have the volume up, so yeah. So if there is if they cut in while I'm away from the stream really quickly, like on a different thing, on a different tab, you can see it. All right. Wow, YouTube, you're all right. There we go. Okay. Whew. This was really, really quick. I believe, I can rewind it just a little bit, like this way. About an hour and a half. They've been deliberating for about an hour and a half. Oh, thank you. Yes, that's a fantastic idea. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I never think of that stuff. You guys are great. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. I don't know what I would do, honestly. Can you imagine if I had to, what would I have done? You know, you guys all know um, how much I have followed this case. Can you imagine what it would have been like for me to have to watch this alone? Can you imagine? Not even really for me. How about for the cats? As many times as I had an outburst today with all the things that happened, can you imagine the stress my poor kitties would have been under if they were forced to, oh my gosh, who's this from? Oh, hold on a second. Aw, Double M, thank you so much. Add love the Star Wars to the letter to Mr. J. Love your commentary. Justice for George. Thank you so much, Double M. I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, let's hear from old Darth Vader right quick. Shout out to you, Mr. J. But for poor Alice and poor Mac, can you imagine all the outbursts, the yelling that I had today? If they would have had to listen to that, look at these little sweet babies. See, you guys are watching it with me so that I'm in a completely separate room from them and they don't have to hear all of the yelling that I do. Yeah, they are back already, you guys, back already. I cannot believe it. They deliberated for like about an hour and a half. About an hour and a half. This was, yeah, I mean, it would be 2 guilty verdicts in one day. It absolutely would be. It absolutely would be. What I think we're waiting for right now, honestly, I think that they went ahead and they moved Sarah back to the jail, or they're on their way back to the jail. And maybe they have to bring her back, you know? Sunday Doodles, when I just rewound the court TV, because they never stopped being live. They continued to stream. Or changing her clothes. That's a good point too, Notorious Nance. When I looked at it, it was like an hour and 25 minutes. So I'm gonna go with an hour and a half that they've been deliberating for like about an hour and a half. But that does make sense. Lord knows she's not brushing that hair. Well, at least not the back of it anyway. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, now Music Mom. I think she might have fixed the front a little bit. Excuse me. But I know she didn't do anything to the back. The back of her hair has been like Mr. Owen's closing arguments, a mess and all over the place. Can't figure out what it's doing. Oh, Jennifer, thank you so much. I appreciate that. If you got the membership, the gifted membership from Jennifer, please thank her. Alice, please don't do that. That is the narration for the video. I worked very hard on that. That's all my research. Don't be a butt. Come sit in my lap. Come here. Come over here. Come here. Come on. Come here.
Second. We are on the record in case number 2020 CF 2603, State of Florida versus Sarah Boone. State, let me get your parents for the record.
Yes, sure, on behalf of the state, William J. for the state.
Defense.
James Owens for Ms. Boone. Kevin Beck for Sarah Boone. Mr. Henderson's not going to be here.
Okay, all right. Ms. Boone is seated at counsel's table, wearing the same clothing from this morning. Yes, Mr. Beck.
Judge, they've got her in chains and they've got her in the ankle handcuffs, so she can't go anywhere. I'm just asking, we would like to rise during the jury coming in. I'm asking if there's any way we can take off
Why?
handcuffs.
They've rendered their verdict.
So that the jury wouldn't see it in case there's something wrong with the verdict form or, there's an issue, which sometimes happens.
Okay, Mr. Owens. All right. All
I've been
right.
advised by the sheriff that during the reading of the verdict, due to Ms. Boone's status as an inmate, their leg irons and the cuffs are to be attached.
Oh, man.
She's going to stay seated.
That's fine.
Mr. Beck's going to stay seated.
I would ask for us all to remain seated, and would you remind everybody in the gallery that there should be no emotional reactions to the
I was
verdict?
just about to address that, sir. Thank you very much. All right, members of the jury, my understanding, or members of the gallery, good evening. My understanding is that the jury in this matter has reached a verdict. I don't know what it's going to be until it's read. If you are unable to contain yourself emotionally, and
Yes,
you're going
the
to
verdict
react
is in, Angie.
in any
The
way,
verdict is
either
in.
in joy or in sadness, I'm going to ask you politely to excuse yourself at this time. There cannot be any emotional outbursts when the verdict is read. Does everybody understand that?
Alice, did you hear
See
that?
everybody nodding their heads.
No
Okay.
emotional outbursts.
State, are we ready to bring in our jury?
We've got to
Yes.
behave and have
Defense, are we
proof.
ready to bring in our jury?
Yes, Judge.
All right, let's go ahead and bring in our jury. Everyone will remain seated.
Oh, that's the little buzzer that I've been wondering the whole time. I think that's how they notify that they're ready for the jury to be brought in. Yeah, no emotional outbursts from you either, Owens. If Alice has to behave, you got to behave too. That beeping? Yes, this is the verdict live, Amanda Meatfoot. It's live. We're live. Here we go. Hey, babe, it's good to see you, Amanda. I want to highlight you guys' comments, but Alice is sitting in my lap, and I got jeans with holes on them, and she's found the holes,
State, do you recognize our jury?
and she's clawing my thigh.
Defense, do you recognize our jury? All right, members of the jury, you may be seated. Thank you.
Shay Bonet, for becoming a member, babe.
Members of our
Welcome to
jury,
the
good
ward.
evening.
Thank
I understand that
you.
you've come to a verdict in this case.
Yes.
If you could please hand the verdict form to the deputy, please. Thank you, sir.
Oh, it's tough, folks.
Madam Clerk, if you could please publish the verdict.
In the Circuit Court of the Ninth Judicial Circuit and in Orange County, Florida, case number 2020 CF 2603, the State of Florida versus Sarah Boone. Verdict. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree as charged in the information. So say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, on this 25th day of October 2024. The form has been signed by the foreperson.
Madam Clerk, please poll our jury.
Juror seat number 1, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror seat number 2, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror seat number 3, is this your true
Yes,
and
it
correct
is.
verdict? Juror seat number 4, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror seat number 5, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror seat number 6, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Members of our jury, again, I want to thank you for your time, your sacrifice, and your attention in this matter. I know that we spent almost 2 weeks together, and it was not taken lightly, and I really appreciate the time and the effort and the sacrifice that you put into this case. I want to advise you now of your final instruction. Members, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for your time and your consideration in this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and votes should remain their private affair as long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege not to speak about the jury's work. Although you are at liberty to speak to anyone about your deliberations, you are also at liberty to refuse to speak to anyone. A request to discuss either your verdict or your deliberations may come from those who are simply curious, from those who might seek to find fault with you, from the media, from the attorneys, or elsewhere.
Except for the ward. You will be safe at the ward. You may come to the ward. All of my chat will be very, very gracious to you, and we would love to know what it was like to deliberate and what it was that caused you to vote the verdict guilty. So Amanda, the deal was, I think, manslaughter, 15 years with credit for time served. She was almost at the 5-year mark. So she would have had to do roughly 10.
Ms. Boone, the jury has spoken in this matter.
Wait, that's a lie. So she would have had to do 85% of the time of 15 years with credit for time served. I think she was going to do 7 more, something like that.
Degree. The court adjudicates you guilty of murder in the 2nd degree. As this is your first felony conviction, you are entitled to a pre-sentencing investigation by the Department of Corrections. Mr. Owens, are you seeking that in this case?
Yes.
Okay. State, I will order the Department of Corrections to prepare the pre-sentencing investigation. State, for the purposes of sentencing, do you
That's what it was.
anticipate
Thank you,
eliciting any
Chacto.
testimony
12 years. Chacto's
from
got
the
it. It was
victims,
12.
victim's family?
2 or 3 victim impact statements, sir?
Okay. Mr. Owens, do you plan on presenting any evidence during the course of the sentencing hearing, sir?
Probably some testimony from Dr. Harper.
Okay. All right.
You're going to bring her back?
How long do you think, State, that you would need?
You mean timing wise, or are we thinking?
A quantum of time, sir. Yeah, well, normally it takes about 30 days or so. I'm confirming with Anita as to availability. I just want to know from your side of the ledger, how much time? Okay, 15 minutes. How much time do you think you're going to need to produce anything from your side of the ledger, sir? Mr. Owens?
I'd say 30 minutes.
Okay.
30 to 45.
So if we set this for an hour, that would be sufficient.
Parties agree.
Okay.
State agrees.
Is that sufficient, Mr. Owens?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Okay. All right, give me a moment.
No, she's going to get more time than that. I'm not understanding what they're doing right here, though. Hold on a minute. I got distracted. Alice's claw was in my thigh. Yeah, but why would they need 15 minutes or an hour to plan the sentencing date? Oh, that makes sense.
Ms. Barrios is checking. Just give us a moment.
Okay, now I got it. Yes, Kentucky babe, we can see you, honey. I'm sorry. She's like, yes, I get my mom back.
We can set this matter for 1:30 in the afternoon for sentencing on December 2.
We'll be there.
State, is that acceptable? It's a Monday.
It's acceptable to me.
I just assumed that, I'll make it work.
I can move it to later if necessary.
I'm co-counsel on it.
Okay. Defense. Yes, sir.
That's Monday, December 2 at 1:30.
Yes, sir.
I can be here.
Are they going to do
Ma'am, you've been adjudicated guilty. I now remand you into the custody of the Orange County Jail pending sentencing on December 2 at 1:30. State, anything else we need to address?
Okay, that's it.
Defense. All right. Thank you very much. We're off the record.
That's it, you guys. So December 2nd at 1:30 p.m. Okay, so what is Sarah facing, which is what a lot of people want to know. With second-degree murder, the minimum she would do is 22 years. That's the least amount of time that she could receive. The maximum of time that she could receive is life. And when Florida does life, it is your natural life. Florida does not have 22 and a half. Florida does not have parole. So she will get credit for the time that she has served, unless, she'll get credit for time served either way. But if it is her natural life, that's really not any kind of credit, is it? I do not think that the judge is going to give her the 22 and a half years. And here's why. I don't think he's going to give her the minimum, but I'm not 100% sure if he will give her the maximum either. I think because I do think, though, that there are a lot of aggravating factors in this case. Those videos that were the last pieces of evidence that the state submitted in their rebuttal paint, in my opinion, a very, very, very telling picture, and a very, very different picture than the one that Sarah is trying to paint. Those videos, in my opinion, do not show a woman in fear, do not show a woman who walked around on eggshells, looking hypervigilant, paying attention for each and every I will, absolutely, sure. Give me just 1 second. Each and every single, subtle cue that it might, that things are going to go south and that she was going to be battered. That's not what they show, in my opinion. And I do think that those videos are going to play a role. Let me get over here to yesterday, and I will play those for you guys. I guess that's it. That's it. That's all, Sarah. All right. Let me see. Court TV had them yesterday, and I know exactly where they were, and I played that yesterday. So let me look over here in my history. This should be easy to find. All right. Do you guys want to watch all of the videos that they played yesterday? Do you want to watch the body cam footage and the videos that Sarah recorded on her phone? Because the body cam footage videos come with 911 calls. Okay, we can do that. We can do that. I'll do that with you guys. All right, let me just get to those really quickly for you. Okay, let me share this screen instead. The only problem with doing it, it's irritating. I don't understand how Court TV has closed captions when it's live, but not after. I don't know if it's because it's so long or what, but here we go. I'm gonna push play. I have the audio. Well, hold on. Let me make sure. Let me make sure I have the audio on. Let me make sure. Okay. All right. Yep, it's on. So there's no closed captioning. I'm sorry, you guys, but we'll do the best we can. It's not the best audio. I should have recorded this by itself and played it for you guys. But anyway, here we go. Just really quickly, for those you guys, for those of you that are just joining us, the verdict is in. The jury found Sarah Boone guilty of second-degree murder. There will be a sentencing hearing on December 2nd at 1:30 p.m., which I will stream. So just in case you missed that, what we're doing now is some of the chat wanted to be able to watch. They missed the body cam footage from the previous arrests that were shown yesterday, and these are shown in context with multiple angles from different officers that were on the scene, as well as 911 calls. And then after that is videos that Sarah recorded on her phone. And so we're going to watch that. And I'll be quiet in just a second. Thank you, Miss Me. I appreciate that, babe. Thank you for the super sticker. That was really generous. Thank you, babe. All right. So I'm going to push play, and here we go.
What's up, bro? It's been nice. It is. So what happened? What's going on now? Did this just happen?
What?
No. I said earlier.
Oh, no, when I moved in, we dropped it.
So who called? So what's happening?
They're asking, not me.
Yeah, you speak to him. I'll speak to you later. Come here.
Sorry.
guessing it's all her reason, right?
Only 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you realize it's here though, right? Have you been drinking?
I had a drink.
Okay.
It was raining.
I didn't drink.
I'm looking at 116, I did call him at Forest Road, the manager.
Now, Sarah, we've discussed this before. It does not count as one drink if you refill the glass 8 times.
But the store manager.
No, look at the door, like, you know, I have my guy.
Okay, well, disappeared in different directions, from one area to one of the Hispanic males.
That was enough.
And tattoos all over, no shirt, no pants.
Yeah, after, he's here.
Other one had
Yeah,
to.
you can stay right here. You can stay right here. He didn't know, he didn't have
Another
it,
like
right?
man, no description, mark you out, like, in there and check this.
You have to. We left it earlier, happy. We respected your mission. Yeah, we respect.
In shock.
Oh, for
Watching
Pete's sake.
James Owens speaking
So
with
she
reporters.
just-
Let's listen in.
In shock. She said she would call me tomorrow morning, so we'll talk some more after she's had some time to think about it. I've had some time to think about it, but, we're obviously really disappointed. We did the best that we could, in the time that we had to prepare. Sarah really liked the team, and we all got along with the 3 lawyers and the other 2 girls that have helped the other lawyer, 4 lawyers working on the case. And Sarah was, as you know, really happy with us. And, we had some disagreements about how the case should proceed. And Sarah, is opinionated, and some of the things we considered, some not. But ultimately, I think she was happy with the defense. It just didn't go our way. As you know, these trials,
Yeah, the
a
girls
murder
again.
charge is a difficult case to beat. And there was some strong evidence that the state used, obviously. And we just, for whatever reason, the jury didn't consider some of the things that we felt like should have potentially been defenses, the justifiable use of force under the battered spouse syndrome. But for whatever reason, we respect the jury's decision. They've been here for 2 weeks. Took us 4 days to pick the jury. And so I'm sure they did the very best that they could under the circumstances.
Was it her decision to not take the plea deal? You think she regrets it now?
I don't think she would have taken anything. I think she wanted, some clients, they want their day in court. And I don't believe she would have taken anything. I felt like the state should have probably negotiated a little bit more, but they were firm on where they were, and Sarah was firm on where she was. I just think, she was convinced in her mind that that she felt like, she felt like she didn't intend to kill George, and that this was just a circumstance because they were both intoxicated. Things happened that, it was just really unintentional act. So I think she felt bad about any kind of a murder conviction or pleading to any kind of a murder, that she was somehow criminally responsible for George's death. And I think that's where her mindset was. And, I think she would have gone to trial even without lawyers. She was ready to go to trial pro se. I think she was happy we came in. We worked as hard as we could. We had about 45 days to get ready, and we did it all that we could. So I think she feels good about our efforts.
You
we put
finna
everything out on the table, just like any other content.
Hang on a minute. Listen, Mr. Owens. don't do this at this hour. All right. Don't delude yourself. You finna get a letter, a long letter in all caps.
Test, you do the very best you can, and then you have to accept, the decision by the jury. We respect the jury and
You said that
appreciate
already.
their time and attention on the case.
Will you be representing her on her appeal?
Hell no.
No, I'll be representing her at her sentencing, but not the appeal. I think she would qualify since she's indigent for court-appointed appellate counsel. And those guys, that's all they do is appellate work, and those are probably the best lawyers to handle something like that. But we're, as I said, really disappointed. Sarah is kind of in shock, but we respect the jury's decision. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
That was James Owens. You heard his reaction just moments ago there, speaking with reporters outside the courthouse. We also expect to hear from the prosecutors shortly. We will bring that to you when that begins.
All right.
They are going to be meeting in the courtyard of the courtroom shortly. But you heard James Owens there say they put everything on the table and they accept the outcome of this. He will.
All right, hang on, you guys. Okay, we have the prosecutors.
Think about the case law with respect.
It's my big head fitting in all these lenses. That's what we're saying. Okay. We got some shoulders on that. All right. Everybody ready?
Yes.
All right. All right. So today, as many of you know, Sarah Boone was convicted of second-degree murder of her boyfriend, Jorge Torres Jr. These events stem from an incident from February 23rd of 2020, where she zipped her boyfriend up in a suitcase in what she claimed to be a game of hide and seek. And 2 videos were introduced from her where he was begging for his life, and a horrific turn of events. And she didn't try to let him out. She didn't do anything to help him. She just went upstairs and went to sleep. And so this is a very horrific homicide. Nobody really should have to endure this type of.
Hang on, I just want to say this really quickly. Chick Tracy, thank you so much, babe. That was incredibly generous of you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, let's get back to this.
Struggle and fight for their lives and had to die alone, begging for their last breath.
I'm not exactly sure who the smooth operator is.
And the jury did amazing work. I'm thankful for our chief of homicide, Will J., and our assistant state attorney, Dave Cacciatore. They did amazing work. Some of you caught me in the courtyard. I was like, I get briefings about it every single day about what they've been doing, but we're excited that they were able to bring this home with a victory because today justice was served with the conviction of Sarah Boone for this very horrific homicide.
Oh, he's the state attorney, Andrew Bain, Orange and Osceola County.
Whoa. Sorry. The defense's argument, clearly the jury did not buy it. The argument was self-defense and better.
Cut my.
Right. And so we're going to turn over to Will and Dave to ask all specific questions as to all the defenses, because they did all the great work, so they deserve all the good credit.
Step up a little bit? Thank you. Yeah, so like the defense, can we speak about that? I know the jury obviously did not buy that. They came down with that second-degree murder charge.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, how does that make you feel? Did you get a chance to speak to the family?
Yes, we're very happy to gain some closure for the Torres family and some justice for George.
Strong closing arguments from the both of you today. What do you think, like she said, this case means for the family and getting justice for George Torres?
think after 4.5 years and the numerous delays, I think they were finally just happy to see this case go to trial and be able to put this one in the books.
What do you think the appropriate sentence should be?
We'll reserve comment to the sentencing hearing.
Do you expect the verdict to come back that quickly? I think it was an hour and 20-something minutes, very fast.
Should never have expectations.
What do you think about the case law with respect to Martinez? I know there was a strongly worded letter you all signaled you would be sending. Is that right for judicial review higher up?
Can't really talk about future legal arguments.
How was it in the courtroom between you and James Owens? There's obviously moments of tension and then also moments of levity. Was this different than a typical battle that you go into?
I wouldn't say it was different than a different relationship than with most defense attorneys.
What would you say to the jurors who were
Whoa.
here for about 2 weeks?
What are you doing,
on
Fox
this case? There's a
35?
long jury selection, and then, of course, a lot of evidence to look at and all of that. What would you want to say to
They're
them?
tired. Let
Thank
them
them for
go
their service.
home.
Will, did you know that it was George Torres' mother who broke down in court today, and that was the reason for the bit of an outburst?
I was made aware afterwards. It happens in these cases.
Do you have a chance to talk to her and say something to her?
I have not yet.
How about you, Dave?
I spoke to her along with the rest of the Torres family after the verdict, and just listened to them.
A strong rebuttal yesterday
whoa,
from you guys.
whoa.
What do you think that evidence showed the jurors and meant for this case?
Not going to really talk about the evidence.
Final question from me is, are you stunned that she did not take that plea deal?
It's not for us to say.
Look how humble these guys are.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You guys been here for a long time. But thank you for coming. Thank you for covering the case.
They've been there since 8 o'clock this morning. Let these guys go home. All right.
There we heard from the state attorney.
Okay. So that whole situation with the mic. I wasn't ready. Okay, so Tony, what had happened was, as the state was presenting their closing argument, it was Dave Cacciatore who did it first, and he walked the jury through all of the basically the jury instructions and applied them to the facts of the case. Well, after he was done with that, he played the suitcase video. And George Torres's family, his mom, his brother, I believe his daughters, and I believe his ex-wife were sitting in the gallery. They were sitting next to Detective Chelsea Kepsel and Detective Scott Lowen, it like right behind the prosecution table in the very first row of seats. And it's my understanding that Mrs. Torres has never seen the suitcase video. And the first thing that you hear on that suitcase video is George calling out for Sarah. And it was too much for her. And she, bless her heart, I mean, it wasn't incredibly loud. It wasn't incredibly, it's not like well, I'll just tell you, like one of my cousins at my, it's my grandfather, my tata's brother. So I guess he'd be my great uncle and she would be a cousin. When we were out, we had the funeral in Mexico and they were lowering the casket into the ground, and his daughter sort of, I couldn't tell, I was kind of young, I was on like 8 or 9. She either fainted or kind of tried to hang on to the casket. It wasn't anything as dramatic as that. Okay. What she did was more of a gasp and kind of a, like a cry, just a little yelp. And they tried to get, she was trying to get up, and she's elderly, and they were, there was people, and they were trying to get her up and out of the courtroom, and, as to not cause any more of a kerfuffle. So they get her out. Mr. Cacciatore continues his presentation. They paused in time, for her to be able to exit the courtroom. And it was really sad. And then Mr. Cacciatore finished up his presentation, and Mr. Owens went all, foghorn, leghorn, talking about Yana and my client deserves a fair trial, and this outburst, and then he sort of like was one step from saying, with great, what is it? What did I say earlier today? With great wrath and furious anger, I set upon thee. Like, he was like mad. He had a full come apart. And so that's what happened. That is what happened. And then, of course, they there was a afternoon break, their afternoon break after Mr. Cacciatore finished his closing argument. And so, excuse me, guys. And so then after the jury was excused and went and sent on their break, that's when the come apart happened. So when the break was over and the jury was brought back in, the judge, admonished the members of the gallery and said, hey, you can't do that. And if you, think it's going to be a problem, then just excuse yourself now. So yeah, there's that. And thank you so much, AA. I appreciate that. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you for supporting me and the channel. I appreciate that so very much. Yes, he absolutely 100% acted a fool. And like, not in a way where you're kind of like, sometimes when people act a fool, it's a little entertaining. This was not that. It was just like gross. And, what Owen said was, somebody should have told them this video's been out for 4.5 years. I mean, that's all true. But as first of all, and first he said, I don't know who scheduled George Torres's family to be sitting next to Detective Kepsel and Detective Lowen, implying that this was some sort of, listen, all y'all, let's sabotage, like, I don't know. Owens is not cool enough to throw in a BC Boys reference. But anyway, that's what he acted like, which was gross, because you can't control any of that. It wouldn't have mattered if that video had been out for 4 minutes, 4 days, 4 weeks, 4 months, 4 years, or 4 decades. That is his mom. She heard her son pleading, and it doesn't matter how old your children are. When your child is in distress, when your kid is in trouble, and she heard it in there. And the next thing out of Sarah's mouth is, that's my name, don't wear it out. And it was just overwhelming for her, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been a lot. What are we going to do, you guys? It's over. What are we going to do? Hey, Demis. Oh, wow. Okay, babe. About an hour and a half, somewhere in there. Urban Homestead. Our Urban Homestead. Yes, Little Red, there is a verdict. Sarah was found guilty of second-degree murder. There will be a sentencing hearing on December 2nd. at 1:30 p.m. So that is what happened. Also, shout out to Mr. J for his fantastic closing. He knew the jury was tired after this was essentially, let me catch you up, Lil Red. This was essentially how everybody was feeling after after Mr. Owens did his cross-examination or his closing arguments. Here you go. This is pretty much the sentiment.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
So there you go. That's pretty much where we're at with that trial. So no, Crime Crochet and Coffee, I don't. I do not believe that we've heard the last of Sarah Boone. I believe that we will hear from her again. I believe that there will be a lot of letters. Owens, you can expect one. Mr. Henderson, you can expect one. Judge Kranick, you'll probably get one. I know, I do believe that she's going to appeal. I hope that there was a hearing held, an in-camera hearing, and that addressed the situation of the whole book deal, financial arrangement, life rights situation between Boone and Mr. Owens, because if it wasn't, and they don't get it on the record that Sarah made that agreement willingly, knowingly, and, you know, she knew all the risks and all of that when she did it, you know, I do still think that she would raise that as an appeal issue, an ineffective assistance of counsel appeal. But she likely won't be successful if they have, you know, if they have that in-camera hearing and they have it on the record that, you know, she understood what she was doing. But no, I don't think that we've heard the last of Sarah Boone. And where is Nicholas's comment? Because I wanted to answer you, and I meant to start the that clip is from Billy Madison when he had to debate about the American Industrial Revolution, and he equated it to what is that book that they read? Something about the puppy, like the lost puppy. I think that's what it was. But that's, yeah. So we could do Menendez. I need to finish watching that documentary before I feel like I'm prepared to do that. There is the burn pile trial, the husband and the wife that put the husband in a burn pile. That trial is going on. I'm sure there are other trials that are coming up shortly. But regardless, it's just, I don't know. I always feel a little bit weird after these verdicts because, like, to me, they feel somewhat like hollow victories because at the end of the day, you know, yeah, Leilani was found guilty, right? She's never going to get out of jail, or she's never going to get out of prison. She's never going to be able to harm another child again, ever, right? But it doesn't bring Quentin back. It doesn't take away the loss to his family, the loss to the world, because we don't know what little Quentin was going to do with his life. We don't know. She took that potential. So it's sort of hollow for me. And then with Sarah and George, you know, it's also a hollow victory. You know, George has children, and you know, he will be a grandfather one day, and he's not going to get to see them, and those children won't get to see George. It's, you know, it's good that Sarah got what she wanted at the end. In the end, Sarah wanted her day in court. She wanted an opportunity. She spoke about this ad nauseum in her letters, right, to the court. And she wanted her day in court. She was convinced that if she were steering the ship, as it were, and the lawyers would just listen to her and do what she wanted, and for the most part, they did. And that she got up in front of a jury and had an opportunity to tell her story, that they would understand, that they would see things from Sarah's point of view, that they would see it from Sarah's perspective. And she wanted nothing less than a full acquittal. That is why she went to went to trial. So Little Red asks, so the Ward case studies, what do you think caused the jury to now see the battered spouse syndrome? You mean not see? Was that a typo, babe? I think that more than likely, okay, so when the jury instructions were read, it is not necessary for the jury, if they find that Sarah had battered spouse syndrome, that doesn't automatically mean that what she did was justifiable, that she used justifiable deadly force. That is not what that means. And so they can find and agree that she likely has battered spouse syndrome. However, her actions on that day, February 23rd, 2020, were not the result of her acting because she was triggered by past experiences, past abuse, and she had to use justifiable deadly force. So, hold on a minute. No, that isn't the jury. That wasn't the jury instruction. The jury instruction was, did Sarah have the right to use justifiable deadly force? That was the instruction. They're not having a diagnosis of battered spouse syndrome does not give a person carte blanche to do whatever they want, does not give them the conditions under which the homicide occurred are specific. And in that in that moment, there were a few factors. The first factor is the way that the incident started out. And this is to her testimony. Not that we believe this, but this is what she said. And so this is what the jury has to base their decision on. The precipitating incident was the preceding incident was a game of hide and seek. There was laughter, there was fun, there were seasons in the sun. George got in the suitcase of his own free volition. Sarah zipped it up. It is in the 11 minutes in between video number 1 and video number 2 that Sarah says the overt action happened, which was George sticking his hands or his fingers out of the suitcase. But because this all started, the whole reason that George was in the suitcase in the first place came out of a game and not a fight, an argument, anything like that. That is why I believe that the jury, while they might think that Sarah does have battered spouse syndrome, and they probably believe also that George also suffered from he was also a battered spouse. Simply agreeing with a diagnosis of battered spouse does not automatically mean that you used justifiable deadly force. Did I break that down correctly? Like, did everybody understand? Because I actually feel like I just had an all complete and total out of body experience explaining that. So yeah. And I do, oh, Shelly Bean, thank you, babe. Love you too. Good night. So yeah, I think that that's really what it came down to. And I really think that what really, really, what really confirmed and set everything clear in the juror's mind was the videos from Sarah's phone. And you guys, please don't be upset with me, but I've been up since 5:50 this morning. I've been live all day with the exception of 2 hours between 11:30 and 1:30 when they took their lunch. And then the jury started deliberating, and I was only not live for like an hour and a half, however long they were deliberating for. And then I came immediately back live. If you don't mind, would it be okay if I don't mind like chit-chatting for a little while, but I am not down to do the body cam footage videos tonight because they're long, and I want to provide commentary that makes sense. And but yeah, I really do think that the culmination of the body cam footage in context, because they showed stuff in that body cam footage that we'd not seen before. So there were parts. Okay, so we did see those arrests, but what we saw was when they talked to Sarah. We didn't get to see when they spoke to George. And there is one body cam footage video that is so telling. And it just, in that moment, I had started to feel a little something for Sarah. I did start to soften towards her after I saw those photographs. I did. But when I watched the body cam footage and the videos that Sarah recorded, it just absolutely, he didn't say much, Cajun Mama, but there's that one video, and I'll come live tomorrow night and talk to you guys about it. But there's that one, it's not anything, he's not loud. It's really actually kind of quiet. And if you're not really listening, you won't catch it because the that beep beep thing that their body cams do kind of almost interrupted it. But it was important. And I do think that it really, really, really resonated with the jury. And I think that it showed that the true dynamic of the relationship that existed between George and Sarah. So, but anyway, you guys, I want to thank you all so very much for being here. I thank you for being with me through this entire trial. This was a roller coaster of a trial. I mean, we had everything. You know, we had we had 2 hurricanes in the middle of the dadgum trial, for Pete's sake. You know, this was a lot. And you know, it's been a long time coming, and I am happy that there was justice for George tonight, and that his family can start to begin the healing process, because it takes a long time. And I don't give a rat's fat kneecap what Mr. Owens says. Time does not heal all wounds. It doesn't. There are some things, there are some losses that time doesn't heal. The loss is so profound that what time does is just teaches you how to live with it, and that's it. It doesn't heal the wound. The wound is never healed. And so I thought that was really incredibly ignorant, really, of him to say. It's like he's never lost anybody. I don't know. So that is, and Kaylin, thank you. You're awesome. And you are a national treasure. You guys are all awesome. And I just so greatly appreciate all of the support that you guys have shown me as over the course of this trial, and really the course of the time that I've had my channel. And I cannot wait to show you guys this video that I have been working on, because anytime I'm not doing Sarah Boone, I'm working on that video, and I'm so excited to show it to you guys. I think you're really going to like it. But anyway, I'm tired. You guys are tired. It's been a long day. I will be back live tomorrow night, because I do want to talk about the body cam footage and those videos. I think that there should be time spent on that. I think we owed it to George. So anyway, thank you so much. You guys have a great rest of your night. If you wouldn't mind, please do me one last favor. Please give me a thumbs up on the stream. I would greatly appreciate it. All right. You guys take care, and I'll see you all tomorrow night. Thank you very much. All right, you guys, one last time for the outro. Bye.
Cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do. Well, fuck you.
No malicious intent or effort was towards it.
No malicious.
Finish her.
Minutes later.
We all do a little mad sometimes.